noting that the overpower of Gemma was due to a bug, but good news, we solved that. And as for the damage inflation issue that Tanky also mentioned before, our current approach is to change the way like how damage numbers were calculated. And with that in mind, our focus is just shifting more to designing new mechanics rather than merely just increasing those numbers. And talking about defensives, we do notice that when players have excessively high damage, they can just ignore all those game mechanics. And with that, we introduced some of those challenges that emphasize on survival, ensuring that our players cannot skip certain phases simply through insane damage. And also, we've changed the formulas for calculating both armor and evasion, making them have like a default damage reduction when it comes to. It's not just like simply you evade or you take damage, but more like you have evasion and now you have a like default damage reduction, and making those defensive aspects more consistent, while it's also easier for players to understand and grasp effectively.
Yeah, so basically this patch is going to be more of like a trial run for that, and then you maybe add more and more defensive layers for people to spec into if you feel like some classes don't have enough and so on. Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
I think deflection's a great addition, by the way. It's a smart way to solve a problem that evasion runs into across most ARPGs.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. We had Milky. Have you been yet? I don't think so, right?
No, I haven't. All right, so I'm gonna mix it up. You guys have asked some pretty hard hitters, but I want to know about the end game. That's where that's my thing. I loved farming the trait cards, those high highs when you get that random draw of cards. Obviously, that's going away. It looked really, and what you did actually looks really interesting. So, is there still going to be a large amount of trait cards? How big is the deck going to be? And do you think there's going to be enough variety there for there to be like a lot of different strategies that people can do? Or is there any concern about it being kind of homogenous where everyone's running like the same deck to get the rewards? Is there still going to be that excitement and high?
I think the new remake trade deck is probably the same size as the one we had before, but this is just the first version. We are definitely adding new and more trade cards into it, adding more strategic decisions into when it comes to like end game. The main purpose of this design is to reduce the burden on players. So in the past, like some players, if they're new to the game, they don't know how to like put all those cards together. They even don't know the order when it comes to like which stage should I clear first. And that is the thing that makes the gap between a pro player and a new player, like the gap is so big. We actually did like a questionnaire that some of our players think they're they only have like 1 to 10 flame lamentium per hour. That's like their effective the rate of getting those. So that's the reason why we want to change this new thing. And yeah, it's definitely still like have those strategies contains, and but we're definitely adding more into it in the future. So yeah,
I can see it. I've literally had people take a screenshot of their cards and say, what order do I run it in? So I can definitely see people needing something, more intuitive rather than, doing it exact and worrying you're going to do one wrong. So I think it's a really good change even.
I think it's also great because there's no real RNG for strategies, right? You just put cards in your deck and you're going to have those effects, and not, I didn't get the card I want, so now I have to do the cycle again. I'm just going to run this map 5 times real quickly and reset the board. Then I don't get it again. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. I'm just going to log off or something, right? So also, one thing that I really like about it is that I can now just spam one map way more, right? Like one layout that I like. I don't have to like jump around in these like corridor layouts. I could just blast Grove of Calamity all day.
Yeah,
so that's also pretty cool.
One thing we had, because when it comes, we do have now you can choose whether you should take the extra game where you follow the chaotic cards like the one before, or you can just keep on spamming, like going through the same easier map to like get to the higher time marks as fast as possible.
Do they work the same way, the chaos cards, or is it just one and done, or is it something different?
You have to complete the card a few times, and then the final one has that chaotic effect.
Right, so you like build it up maybe 5 times, and the 5th time you're going to get the effect of the card.
Exactly.
Oh, but inheritance is completely gone from chaos cards, or is there?
Inheritance
Yeah.
is
Okay.
gone. There's no more. So it's gonna be only the passive effects, and then if you want that chaotic card effects, you can just follow the orders, and if not, you can just go through the same stage again.
Right. So that does that like bounce around and change map?
Yeah, it's
Right. Awesome. Yeah.
it's the same way before.
Cool.
I'd like to piggyback off of that question, just to sort of ask, since FE acquisition is going to be more normalized across the player base, I could see that we could kind of get into a problem of inflation, right? Especially when it comes to like acquisition of uniques and the fact that unique drop rates are not really, I don't really expect them to be super changed, right? This season, and we were already getting to the point where like certain uniques were in like the thousands and thousands of FE, right? And that felt like a huge mountain for some people to climb, as some of them were so impactful for certain builds that it was almost like this is your barrier to entry to having fun, right? Is there sort of like, are you guys keeping this into account, and is the economy something that you keep in mind when making these changes as a whole?
Yeah, that's actually the most important thing we've changed this season, which is the first thing is we changed the drop rate of all the legendaries, that making them like, I think it's 3.5 times higher than before. And that's just one thing that we want to lower the cost of all lower the barrier where the players, if one of their builds need that legendary, they don't have to like farm, and even like the price, like the amount of FE they farmed cannot chase the inflation of the legendary itself. It's not what we want to see. And the other thing is we've changed the crafting system, basically remake it and making it a lot more rewarding while consuming more of the FEs and the flame sand as well. So like in the next season, we do adding more flame elementiums, more other flame sands into the game, but like we're still making the cost of the crafting. I don't think we changed the cost to it, but we're making it more rewarding. So like players are more willing to use the crafting system, which will obviously consume more of the in-game the FEs and flame sands, and also the legendaries. We've increased the drop rate for those. So like we're trying to make the barriers for the new players, no matter new players or the advanced players, they know it will be a lot easier for them to actually create their own builds, because everything is not necessary for them to like. There's no such thing as you have to have that insane legendary to create this build. We don't want that to happen. We just want everyone to equally share the create their own creativity as creating a build.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Because they can get the base unique easier, but you can still go for double corruptions and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And those are still gonna hold extreme value. So I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
And also the crafting is now a lot more insane. You can now have at most 5 tier 0 affixes on it. That's super powerful. That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, they look really cool. It'll be like a huge thing for currency, and also hopefully it will be able to like match a lot of the uniques that you guys have. And by the way, I think the uniques you guys have are like really insane. And the thing I like the most about the game is the fact that you also have the corrosion system, which is affecting those uniques in a way that is adding something new to them, rather than it just being like, oh, this modifier is like a higher number or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's honestly like one of the best things that you guys got going. So for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying that.
I think that's great. Talking about crafting, my next question would be, what do you guys want to achieve with crafting? What's your philosophy? Do you want people to be able to just play solo self-found and never really have to engage with trading? Do you want to make endgame crafting still extremely hard for people to strive towards something, or what's your approach there? Because you have had a lot of different iterations over the leagues. Where do you want to end this on?
That's a really good question, because that's the thing that we want to like explain, because the end goal is that we hope our players can slowly beat the game with or without the trade house. So that means the solo self-found is definitely optimized when it comes to the final version of crafting and getting farming those legendary gears. We have to find, which means we have to find the balance between crafting the best gear while combining with collecting those core legendaries. So the drop rate would be the last season's crafting, it does not work as we intended. but which is also the reason we changed the entire crafting system into this new one, because we hope the overall experience is fluent, as the players can always find their next gear to chase for, no matter if it's a legendary or a crafting gear. So we want to make the entire character progression a lot more fluent than before, while you can beat the game with or without a trade house. You don't have to like rely on the trade house to actually go through the entire game. And
So you're trying to make the basically that the trade house will make it faster, but
Yeah.
it's still achievable. Okay.
it will be make it faster, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not like last season. Well, not.
Yeah, and you also introduced the new shards or whatever they're called for
Blueprints.
legendary. Yeah, blueprints. Yeah. So that will also help with that. Yeah. Are
So-
those
Yeah.
like location based, by the way? Can you
Yeah,
are
you
they
can
target
farm
farm?
for specific blueprints. That's one thing that so we've seen like players that just they're staying in the trade house all day because they're like keeping all those precious legendaries in their stack,
Yep.
and that's the thing like we do not want to happen, because we want players to like more enjoy like how you actually farm for those, but not like you're doing trading to get those. And that's why we have blueprints where you can if you want this legendary gear so bad, you can actually farm for those blueprints, because there are
Yeah.
actually places where it will drop.
And that way you also basically make like a ceiling for how expensive the item could be, because it can't go to like 10,000 FE if you could just literally farm it in a day, right? So-
Yeah. And we actually have one more thing, which is it's not in the game right now, but we're still like collecting feedbacks with regards to on how the blueprints, how the new legendary system went well. Is we do have like a wish list. So the new wish list will be like you can actually choose what kind of blueprints or legendaries you would like to wish to have, and then it will increase that drop rate of that. So, but it's not in game now. It will be kind of like in-game activity when it comes to the point. If we see like players still reporting like, oh, I cannot get the ones we want, we might have that actually on to like actually solve that issue.
I can see everyone selecting the most expensive one, and
Yeah.
everyone's farming
Yeah.
the same one right now. I can see
And
it.
the most expensive one's not the exhibit.
And then it swaps,
Yeah.
and then it swaps, yeah.
That's
I think that's a great idea.
that's the way we want to solve the issue.
It would be great self-balancing for the economy. If a bunch of people start playing a build, well,
Yeah.
a bunch of people are also going to wish list it, and
Yeah,
then
if everybody wish lists one item, right, then it's gonna go down, and then everybody's gonna jump to next. So I mean, it still does what it's supposed to.
That's the goal we want to achieve.
I like it.
Yeah. In terms of the crafting, I do have a question about embers. They haven't been mentioned that much. In the past, they've dropped very frequently to a point where, in the first few days of the season, players find them valuable and farm them. But later on, you want to avoid farming embers because they're very cheap in comparison to other crafting materials. Have you changed the drop rate of embers or their consumption a little bit?
Yes, we've changed the new crafting. We also calculated how the embers should drop, and then we changed the drop rate for those as well, making it not everyone should have enough for their own crafting. But if you want to craft more, they might want to, get it from the trade house or farm. Have a more strategic based trade cards that farm for the flame embers. So I think we changed the entire things as well.
Yeah. And one question that I had, or more of a comment and a question. Exploring the city of Eterna looks like a blast, and I really like rogueliking. Some of my favorites are Slave Aspire and Hades. What are some of the specific roguelikes that you may have played or that inspired the dev team when making City of Eterna? And if there weren't specific inspirations, just what are some of your favorites?
Oh, pick me. Finally,
Go for it, Sean.
Finally a publishing question instead of all the technical dev stuff.
Yeah, because we have those internal discussions about what next season should be like.
Yeah. All right. So, So looking at the current season gameplay, we don't have like a pure random map, right? Which is one of the considerations going into the current season. We wanted to create kind of like a puzzle game where you can control the creation of the map, use random. And so I would say the game that inspired us the most is probably The Binding of Isaac, and the feeling of you completing each room and then moving on to the next room is the feeling we're trying
I'm looking forward to it.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks really cool actually. And you actually mentioned it has like, does it have infinite scaling? I guess I didn't win you more detail on this from what I've heard, but it seemed like you could go forever, right? And
Exactly.
if it increases in difficulty, is there an option to kind of regress and go back and do one that's more comfortable? Because we see other mechanics in games that we're all playing right now where you can't do that.
Oh,
And
no.
It
You
starts
can
to feel a bit weird, right? If it gets too hard and you just want to go back to it being more comfortable, just to have
Yeah.
a
You
chill
can
time.
choose the level. You can choose the level that you want to get into once you complete those. So, yeah, it's not like one time that you cannot beat it and you cannot beat it forever. You can always jump back to the levels where you're comfortable with and from those. And also, one thing I also want to mention is that the drop rate also increases as the level increases. But when it comes to 1 point, the only difficulty will increase, but the drop rate will remain the same. That we want to make sure that the gap between each builds or even heroes will not affect the efficiency that you grind for more gears. We don't want that gap to be like huge, so like we limit it. Later on the rewards will more like be honorable rewards, but not like
Right.
in-game real rewards.
Is that
Would be a
shown
nightmare
in
to
game?
balance.
Yeah.
Do you know when you hit that point?
We do have a leaderboard that shows each hero traits and like the ranks of all of them, so you can actually see like who's the best in
Oh.
their.
So do you know when you hit that point where the loop stops increasing? Does it show you in game, or can you tell us,
I
or
think so.
is that something for us to find?
I
What?
think it shows the in the
That's it.
affixes
So-
where it shows like the
What's up?
increase of your drop rate and
Right, okay.
So do you think you
drop
can finish your
rate
build? Maybe.
that is shown in the
Maybe. What does that mean?
I would have a question about
Just
the
need
current
more,
translation and
currency.
the English client,
Which
and,
I do,
just the consistency
but
of
not,
wording
not
across the
enough.
board.
But I do have
noticed
more
there's a lot
currency
of,
than I
like,
did
discrepancies
yesterday.
there, and especially if you want to make your own build and you have to try stuff out for the first time.
I
Especially
have
when
7
there's,
divine now.
uniques involved that are extremely
Wait, so how
rare and
much
hard to
do
get.
you
You spend
have
like
right now?
thousands of
7
fees.
divine.
You put your build together, and then all of a sudden it doesn't
7?
work like
You already
you
spent
thought
it?
it would.
No, I haven't spent
Is
it
there
yet.
any plans on
What did
making
you
this more
spend
consistent,
the
or maybe
50
putting a little bit
divines
more
on?
focus on the English
Oh, I didn't get
translation?
50 divines. That was just
Yeah.
me being
Hey
silly.
guys, sorry if I dropped for a second.
Obviously, if I had
Oh,
50
so-
divines, I would have already bought a few
Answer this
things and been
question
done
as
and
well.
did some
And
things.
really appreciate
No.
it. And it's kind of
So they
We're
didn't
just
give
being
you the
silly.
50.
No, he didn't.
about the UI
No.
I thought
issues,
I was like,
challenges,
like,
right?
cool.
So
You
yeah,
have like a,
localization like
you're approaching 100
is
divine build.
obviously still an
I
issue.
thought you'd be like,
No.
you know, set or something.
Nah, we were just being silly. He didn't give it to me.
And we are really
No,
trying
I only
our
have
hardest
7
to
divine
fix
right now.
and like remain consistent all
So
the
they didn't
time.
give you
You
anything?
don't believe
Yeah, he gave me a
how
couple divine.
the spreadsheets are like when we're looking at the concept
much?
in new season, these spreadsheets in like all these different languages, and it's
Like 10?
going for as
Oh,
long
no,
as
no,
an
no. I
Excel
only have 7
spreadsheet
divine. I
can
didn't
go.
spend anything. This is a
This
couple.
really nice software, and actually we also use some other systems to
So
improve
they
the
just give
localization.
you a couple divines, but
Anyway.
you didn't buy anything?
I would
Nope,
say
I haven't bought anything.
as a publisher, some things obviously, but pretty much everything needs to get really done in Chinese.
Did you
first,
make anything?
And there's a lot of like descriptions.
Nope, I haven't made anything.
In between the translations.
You haven't
So
made
it's
anything? What?
Sometimes a little bit challenging. To make
But
sure
you're
there's
playing
no
longer than me.
misunderstandings at all.
Oh, you mean selling stuff? Oh, yeah. No, I've
all
sold
of the
stuff.
other
That's
languages that
interesting.
we've got.
Okay, so you made
but, like,
divines.
as soon as we notice localization or translation issues.
Over time, yeah,
like, fix
mostly
as
just
soon as
lots
possible.
of stuff in chaos,
And
like those things sound
Honestly,
30,
I
40
think
chaos
as
a
the game
piece
starts to mature a
from
bit, these issues are going to become less and less
from
because I do agree. I've also seen these things. but I think
Harbinger.
it's fair to
Harbinger, I can't
say
even think.
we only make the same mistakes.
Those have been
once,
making me
right?
money.
Like once it's fixed, it doesn't then.
In fact, I made most of my money from Harbinger.
So yeah, I would. I'm totally aware
Okay,
of
so
it.
you're just farming Harbinger.
Definitely improving it.
I mean, for the most part.
And,
I mean, I'm finishing up all
this
the
one
maps.
I'm pretty
getting
confident
close to
it's gonna
being
get
done
better
doing all the maps
with
I
each,
need.
each new day and each new month and each new season.
It's already noticeably got better as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's just I don't know if it's like exactly the same problem as.
Do you
like,
know what
UI,
you're gonna
'cause,
do
For
next
example, if there's like
season or
dots
league or
missing at
whatever?
the end of sentences and stuff like that, it just makes it feel a little bit cheaper. You know what I mean? It's like.
Do you have
it
any
doesn't-
idea what you
It
would
doesn't
do?
seem as professional. It's not just about wording and like me screwing up my builds or
maybe a
whatever. It's
bossing
also
character?
about just like looking
Really? Okay.
right.
What's
you
the
know
best
what I mean?
type
Just-
of bossing character?
Yeah.
I had, I put it
So you don't want to clear maps
I-
fast, you want to kill bosses quick? That's what you want to do this
Yeah.
time?
Areas to still
So-
be improved.
All right, great.
Every time I play,
Awesome.
I do a
The
different
reason I
build,
say it's similar to UI is it's like
and I do something
what's-
different.
Yeah.
it's always a work in progress. You know, actually the job is never finished, and that's kind of a good attitude to have because it means we don't get lazy.
Or at least I
Lazy.
try
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Something different. Like I
But
try
like,
a
that's the
different
same
way of
with UI.
thinking.
These things are
Yeah.
so intricate, and there's so many moving parts. That's kind of what I mean. Just the attitude comparison.
I would maybe
That
do
was
summons
like-
again. I just wish they moved. It was quicker.
Yeah, I think personally, ever since there was the Discord channel added in the official Torchlight Initiative
Well, it's
Discord,
quicker.
where players can report translation
I
issues,
wish
that's
minions was
definitely helped.
quicker.
Do you have any plans to add further ways for players to
What
direct
do you
those
mean?
It definitely is
All
not.
my minion builds.
Yeah, they're quick,
some
but
might
not
be
even
go.
close as quick
Side
as
where,
bow
somewhere
builds or
you
anything like that.
record
That's
what
how
you think
quick
this
I want
translation
minions to
should be,
do. That would
and
be
then
pretty sweet.
You can actually have an official.
But
version
obviously, that would
all
never
those
happen
feedback
after all the nerfs they've done
just
in the
changes
past 10
directly to the
years.
game.
Yeah,
There should
it's,
be-
it's a really good idea, and
think
I
yes
think
and
that's something we should 100%.
I mean,
see.
are they
feel
still
like
quick?
quick
Yeah,
reason
they're just
that
not
I
this
think-
type of quick.
The issue here
And I'm not
is
like,
no
oh, we're not going to do it, blah, blah,
is
blah.
as fast
But
as
what I
both
would say
builds.
is
That
the only
that
caveat is
what they do.
sometimes,
Yeah.
like, the only
Except
reason I've
for
been able to
Flickr,
notice
right.
localization mistakes is when I've looked at the source
Yeah.
and the localization
Yeah,
and noticed
I mean,
that, for example,
Flickr
it's
Strike, I
different
guess,
at
but-
different parts, which obviously players wouldn't have that context if they're only
I
viewing
never
it on one
played it
language,
much,
but I think actually there are
but
some
I
parts where
usually just end up
for sure they're
getting
going to
caught up
notice
on
things
stuff
and can help
and
make the game better.
looting
So,
is annoying.
yeah, we'll see what we can do there.
The only
I think
problem
as far as
I mean,
mapping
I-
the fastest
I-
from just start to finish and looting,
Go ahead.
So
I would
I have
say
no idea how
bow
it
build
currently
over
works with
Flickr.
your guys' translation or anything like that.
See,
but
the only problem
something
with
that's
Flickr
definitely a
is
problem
that
is if
you have
the
to
people who are
backtrack
translating it
pick
are
up the
not
loot.
familiar
Yeah,
with
that's
the
you're
game,
too
right? They
fast.
don't really understand the context. So,
That
for
would be a
example, I
horrible
remember in season
experience.
1, I made like a custom crit
That's
build,
what I had
and
to do.
Thea's triple
I just
damage didn't work
backtracked
with
to
triggered
pick up
skills, and it was like I have no idea why.
But then
It
over
just didn't say
time,
it there,
as
right?
I
It just- it
kept
just
playing and stuff like that,
didn't say that.
I learned
and
how
that's probably
to
a thing where
control
maybe
Flickr
got translated by
and stop
a
so I
program
don't
or
overshoot,
somebody who has no
off
like
the screen
familiarity,
to pick up the item.
familiarity with the game, and didn't
But
know that
the
was
problem
like
with
relevant.
that is,
so
like,
maybe
once
there's
I
something to be said there as
stop
well.
flickering and
like,
stuff
honestly,
like that, you
the-
know,
the
like I'm kind of like
current,
vulnerable, so it's like
translation we
really
have,
easy to die.
The outsourcing company we have is actually the
Did
one
your
who
AC
did
or
the
something
translation
break,
for
Hill?
Torchlight 2.
I don't have
So-
AC
we're
downstairs, and
actually
it's been a pretty
hiring,
hot
and
summer
we want
lately.
those. We know the description is the most
So,
important
Eh,
part.
I started
want
looking into it because I always
the one who's
had
doing the translation
a really
to
nice
get-
tower
that's
one
really
that was
important
silent in Florida. I couldn't live without it.
That'll definitely
I
help.
was like, you know,
and I
could
know a
get
lot of
something like
players,
that
I mean,
again.
even
So
some
I just
people
got
here
something like
are
that.
multilingual.
That'll actually just go on my desk.
Kind of look between, oh, this doesn't necessarily make sense in this language. Let me check in another language I know. Provide feedback that way.
I guess-
Which can be very valuable, I think.
I guess Flickr would work if you're just like rushing to
I have sort of a question that
like
is more
whatever
along the fronts of,
content that you're trying to do. Like
localization
if
and
you're
stuff
trying to
that,
like just
but it might be
get to the
kind
boss
of difficult for you guys to answer
from
specifically
point
since
A to
it's,
point B,
like very
fast,
difficult in general for games to get
and
this
you're just
right.
only killing the
But
boss
we
or
already
whatever
have separate
specific
leaderboards,
content.
you know, within different regions and stuff like that.
Because then
also
you're
So
not
far, I
gonna
don't
be,
know
like,
how I
losing
feel
it.
about
Game says
this.
that you're adding a leaderboard to the City of
At
Eternal.
that
Torchlight
point,
dev
if you're
stream.
just
I
going
really
for
enjoy,
bosses, you
you
just
know,
make like
being
a
able to
movement
farm
speed character.
mechanics and, you know, getting on a leaderboard that's like further incentivizes me to be max my build and also
Like,
engage
what
in
kind of
competition and
movements
stuff
the
like that.
character?
But I feel like
like-
lately that is sort of
like
being
pretty much
undermined
a
by
lab runner.
certain systems of the game, like
Oh.
the pet system and whatnot. And since we already do have technically separate servers aside for maybe
Because
the
that
auction
is
house, right?
probably the fastest
Would there
you're
be
gonna get
maybe
with lab
like
runners and, like,
a
Ghost
place or a time where you guys can rebalance pets?
500
you know, Western servers compared to
More
Eastern
than
servers and
that.
stuff like that, so that you can sort
Ow.
of incentivize competition to be
I
more
think
fair.
one
among
of our friends is doing
player
budget
base in
gear, and I
general.
think he had like 600 movement speed.
So
Jesus.
the question is like, is there a chance
So he just skips everything.
we'll have separate
Well, that was
Western
the guy
and
you
Eastern
seen, hell, that
versions,
came into
right?
your map to race you that one time.
600?
More like balancing of the pets and stuff like that.
I just gotta feel
Because
delicious.
like versions wise, I feel like
Yeah,
the
you
game
go to the he can go through the whole
maybe more
map in
separate
like
versions of
5,
monetization
10
because you could also
seconds.
look at it in a way that like in the West we love
Huh.
buying skins, right? But currently buying skins.
So would
is
There
me
was
just
one
be the
next.
fastest mini build
There's
you
a lot
can
of
do?
people that I know that are just like, I want to buy them, but I can't.
Well, minions will never be
Um,
that fast because minions
you know,
themselves have
would
to.
you be more open to like
Yeah, until they
changing
get a buff,
monetization
maybe
for the
we can
West
get
and,
that
you know,
changed.
aiming more towards like what these guys prefer compared to
Because you have like
um,
convocation, but
the East, right?
that is
Well-
never gonna have like
Yeah.
no cooldown. So
Yeah, that's
and-
fair.
I mean, like the thing is, like if you're
Um,
that fast, you don't even need convocation. They just teleport to you because they're too far away or something. Because you're
Well,
Can you
taking.
guys answer this
yeah,
question?
if you're there's like gonna be
I mean,
like
is
spots
it
in
like something
between
that you guys
though,
can talk about?
where they
we can actually talk about it.
don't
It's okay.
catch
Like
up in
we
time.
definitely take that into account. Like we're thinking because the our Western
See.
players does not like those randomness. I would say like we just pay for what we want to do.
It looks
That's
like the
exactly-
fastest character
we
I
understand
had
that, but
before
currently we're developing our game
was
like in one
Flicker
set,
or
so like
Cyclone.
it's gonna be really hard.
Cyclone
like,
had
we can't make another one, but it's gonna
352%
be really
movement
hard to
speed.
do the follow-ups because it's gonna be
Mine
hard
was-
to like maintain
Mine
how
was
like the
definitely
differences, how the
a,
calculations
lab. I
is
think I
all
had a
gonna be
lab runner at
different
one
in two
point.
versions. And
I
for
know
now
I had
we're
a
all
heister, and
like
that's
focusing on
definitely faster than Flicker.
maintaining and enhancing
Okay, which one's
a
faster,
single
Blade
unified version of the
Vortex
game
or the
because
Cyclone that I did?
it's gonna be
I
a
mean, it
lot
would
more
depend a lot more than that,
work
but
to like actually maintain
generally
two
Blade
and
Vortex
and we
is
want
faster
to
than
like
Cyclone.
ensure that all players, because we are also
Yes.
all focused on the high quality, the core experience. So we want that all players, regardless of region, have a
This isn't
consistently
our thing.
high quality
the
high quality
Harbinger's
experience. And if we're only like developing one unified version, we can better concentrate on delivering the new content and features. And for now, we did take that into account that we might have to, but we are more focused on like still developing like our core gameplay. Once if the core gameplay we think is perfect, we're thinking about we might have the chance to like change into two different versions and maybe keeps on maintain two sets of the numbers or the two versions of the game.
This is why I was like trying to understand the question to begin with, is because it's kind of simplifing.
When illegal gets on it a bit,
an
we're
issue
going to be
that
running more of those
to follow
labs.
your
I don't know how
proposal
many
would
we
mean
got.
changing a lot.
or
It's
we're
not
gonna do
like
it
a
for
simple
long.
changing certain things.
Once again,
and
we've
then
been on
ignoring it.
Starfield
Actually, it
all
would be
day.
totally
It's
different versions.
it definitely became like
and-
one of my higher
just
rated
to echo
games
what
for
Ian said,
sure.
Then it's like, okay, let's get one unified version.
The
I was
beginning
just like,
first
sucked in
before,
comparison.
like in a second.
I don't know, it made me
I've
want
just
to
been
turn
like
on
the-
The other thing I
No
would
Man's
say
Sky
is
is what
I've
it
worked
made
on
me want
games
to do.
before where we've published
Yeah, I
different versions.
I can
and
definitely
then
see wanting to quit
inevitably some players
Starfield,
kinda like that
but when
and
you get
can end up,
into
like,
it and start
switching
doing
service anyway.
enough,
So it almost
it'll change your
doesn't
mind. I'm
make
pretty
sense
sure.
in some ways.
Well, my
but
most
yeah,
important
I've got
feature
something
isn't
now.
that great, so that's
So
frustrating.
just to
a
bring
little
a
bit.
little bit of a
Yeah, the
perspective
exploration
for
of like
Path of
planets
Exile,
and
I know a
stuff
lot of
is
people have
great,
said
but
Being a
the
pirate,
story
taking over
quest,
big battleships
but
and stuff like
the
that
monetization as it stands
is
right now
not a
is
focus.
hard line.
I'm
They'll
sad. I really
pay
was hoping
$60
for
or
the pirate
$90 for a
things.
supporter pack without issue, but they want to be able to pay
I mean,
a set amount
you can
and buy it.
you can
They
like
won't
pirate
have
and
a
take over
chance to get a
ships.
skin, even if they'd get that skin in the same amount of money. That
I've just been, like,
pets are a
AFK
hard
on
line for
Twitch,
them because
kinda,
they
like,
have been
get a free
for
copy
other games like
again.
Path of Exile.
Did you guys watch this
and things like
Torchlight
stash
dev
tabs.
stream?
They
I've been
want
watching
to
it.
buy
and
them
stuff,
and have it, even if it means
I,
paying
like,
$20 or $30.
Tuned in for a
higher
second because
price.
I was like
They don't want to
tuned
have to
into your
rebuy
stream,
it
but
every
that's
season.
it.
And so with all these things, they say, I'm not going to play Torchlight Infinite because I personally don't feel comfortable with the monetization.
Now they're talking about
Yeah, I think-
monetization right now, so I'm
I think a lot of it is just also, I don't know, optics. It's like stigma attached to pay to win. It's not how hard your game is pay to win, because I don't think the game is
Interesting,
really
they're talking
like,
about pay to win,
that
the
big of a
devs.
deal. Like there's way like worse stuff out there. I think it's actually pretty fair. But the thing is just, is it there, yes or no?
Pay
And
to
that's kind
win?
of stigmatizing the game already. So I guess
For-
that will make it
what
hard
game?
or harder to land in the West, I guess. So I mean, I'm sure I don't have to tell you guys that. That's like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I think sort of my perspective.
So
as a
why don't
player
you guys just
is,
flat out say, do you guys think
I-
your
I
game
per-
is
I
pay to
personally
win?
don't feel like,
well, it's so
you know,
hard
the
when people
percentage
ask that
damage
question.
increase pets
it
are
pay to win?
so
I actually don't like
bad
No,
as
not
compared to the
really,
ones that
but
modify the way you farm.
if you have unlimited
mechanics,
money, you could buy
because,
better pets that
currency
give you,
acquisition is,
you
in
know,
my opinion, one of the
slightly
most
better
important things
stats,
about a
but
video
it's
game
not
with a live
like
economy that is shared
changes
across
the
player
entire
base.
game.
And when certain people are able to
It still
acquire
should
certain
be
things that
discussed
multiply
regardless.
rewards, and you know,
Yeah.
in many cases, it's very substantial. It really disincentivizes you to want to explore that mechanic until you have that.
But yeah, the
depth.
only thing you
And in
can
a way that
buy, you
sort
can't
of
buy
creates,
gear.
A nasty
Can't
behavior
buy
that the player
currency
might
for
develop
gear
with
in the
game, which is
auction house.
where
You could
you
just
think,
pay
oh, I can't do this.
for
and
RNG
I have
like
to
a
spend this
gacha
money
system for
to engage in
pets.
that kind of content.
And the
I
pets
personally
give
feel like, from my perspective,
Yeah.
that is not very healthy.
better buffs than regular pets.
Something that I would love to see, you know, worked on in the future. But of
Have you not
course,
played
Oh,
Torchlight
yeah,
in
by the
pets?
way, Hill.
my perspective, and you guys have to pay the
Nah.
bills and stuff like that.
I have not.
But just
So
just
my
point beyond that.
hours.
One thing I would like to shoot in, getting away from the
well, pretty much
monetization a little bit, I guess.
being compatible, I
Also
think.
concerning about pets is
With
even if
your
you're free to
time
play
schedule, so
and
that's
you
gonna
get the
suck.
pets over
Oh, that's
time,
too bad.
At
one
least
of
When
the
do you
problems
start?
I see is people who played for several seasons will have a lot of
I
want pets,
start
like
on
Tuna
the
just said,
11th,
not just
and I'll be
damage, but like
waking up
they will
at
start out
5
like with
a.m. my
double the
time,
drops
which
that
is
somebody
in
who just
7
started
hours.
will happen.
Nice.
And if they want to compete
So
with
I'll
the
be, like,
economy, that's definitely going to
going
be a
to
problem.
sleep.
Whereas if they do like 20%
Yeah.
more damage, is that gonna?
And
is
you're
not
gonna be doing
that
the
big of a
same
deal.
thing,
But
or?
getting that many more FE drops, that's gonna be.
Uh,
difficult.
yeah,
So
it'll be
I guess
dispatched at a
even without completely,
for 911 in
regardless of the
Indianapolis,
monetization,
in
that could be a
Marion
problem
County
down
here
the
in
line
Indiana.
if we have some seasons in. Right.
Yeah, like the original design for those pets is we want. It is more like
But yeah,
I feel like that game would give me, or
That's
the
the thing
game,
that
the
was
job would give me
designed
nightmares.
And now, yeah, those are
Yeah.
really helpful suggestions. We
The
definitely take that into
training
account
is going to
because
be
we do understand that when it comes
7
more and more
to
leaderboards, players will notice their
3:30. Yeah,
gap
3:30.
between well and
And,
not free-to-play players, and definitely
after
those
training,
are the things
hopefully
that
I move
we
to
do
a
not want
2 to
our players to
2
think
p.m.
that
to
they're
10
playing
p.m. shift.
unfair gaming
Yeah.
environment.
Then we'd be able to.
So we definitely understand
do
that,
whatever.
and
But I don't know how long
we will
the
have
training
more
will
discussions
be.
about that.
Gotcha.
But thank you all for having those really precious suggestions.
There's one thing there's less on that. Do you have any thought on, you know, when people have 3 different setups of pets, and there's this thing you can do where you swap to a pet that's maybe the dark
Have
surge pet or
any of
the
you
Q
guys
pet.
used the
Is this intended?
expansion card
'Cause
before?
obviously, it's quite a
Or,
weird loop when
M.2?
you're playing the game. Is this something that you're happy with, or is changing
Actually,
pets within
what?
an instance something you might think about getting rid of?
Yeah, well, I think we already
Have any of
did,
you guys
adding a new
used the
mechanic where if you
expansion
switch
cards
paths
for
only,
M.2?
The fact only
Or like a raid?
will affect the next round.
Oh.
So
I
when
did
you
raid in
do
the
another
past,
round,
but
Are you
most
thinking
people
of
don't do
like-
raid
not
anymore.
like-
All of that.
Yeah, so you can now like
Yeah,
the
raid isn't really worth it nowadays for general computing.
Switch to Q pad.
What are you
Not, like,
what are you doing an expansion code for, or
Yeah.
expansion card for?
yeah, we're not adding
I'm
that.
thinking
that's,
about
yeah, like we've seen people.
putting.
Like,
I'm thinking about
doing
using like
that and we
a
add
PCIe
content to prevent that.
slot
Awesome.
for like to put a bunch of SSDs on there.
It's great. And on the topic of
What are you planning to
heroes,
do, run a
hero
server?
traits, in some of the very early screenshots, for
Planning to like use
there's
it
an
for
option
video
to
editing,
swap between traits and
and then like I can
do
also
you have
put
any
all
plans
my
to
games
potentially
on
reintroduce this? I've heard from a lot of people that they like playing multiple builds
Might as
and
well.
they like playing builds across
I mean,
different characters. I'm sure.
I
a lot
guess
of
you
people are
could
gonna
do that.
see
I mean,
Gemma, who now has 3 different
it's pretty
hero
simple
traits for
nowadays.
Mixed elements. Fire, and
You
core.
basically just
say, oh, that's so many builds I can play.
put
They
the
don't wanna
SSDs in
level
it.
3 different
Maybe put a
times.
heatsink on, since there's so many of them in small
that's
place,
really-
and then
That's
slap it in
not the
your.
thing that we
computer.
receive a lot of feedbacks from.
I'm
But for
looking-
now, we
I'm looking
take
at this,
different hero
excuse
traits as different heroes, which means whenever you want to
for
try
sure, for
out
sure,
a
but
different
in general?
hero trait, that it means you probably have to level
There are
up
chats
another one.
here.
But we are thinking about adding a new, and also it's like improve of life qualities.
I'm
We
looking at
can
this
have
one right here.
once you have
I can
one
put
character
4
that
SSDs in there.
goes through all the narratives, all the stories.
Because right
when
now
you
I'm
enter
only,
the net
I
room,
only
you
have
can have the
one
chance to actually,
SSD, and that's
level
for
up,
the,
create a new character
main
without
operating
going
system.
through the leveling experience again. You can just
And
directly
2
go into the net
terabyte
room
isn't
whenever you
very
create the new
much
character, so
either.
that it will be a lot easier if you want to try out
you can
different builds.
also-
You don't have to go through the story mode again and again.
Oh, let's see.
I think that's one thing we're trying to solve the issue
Basically,
where the
every
cost of
time
creating
I
a new character
install
will
a
be
game, I have to
kind of too
uninstall
high
another
because you
game or
have to spend
something.
hours and hours leveling another one. But for now, for switching between different
As long as your
hero
card
traits,
isn't like
I
ancient,
think
you're-
in the future we might
board.
add
You should
a
have
more
a lot more slots on
interactions
four
between
SSDs.
different hero traits.
Yeah.
I have,
that is if you're.
There's a
Are you
chance that
planning on?
one
You're planning
hero
on this
trait
is
can
a
have
SATA board, right?
the other hero traits
what?
like
No,
effect.
this is
That's one thing.
That'd be
M.2.
awesome.
Yeah,
He's
but
awesome.
for now, for switching between different hero traits, that
'Cause,
we still
like,
take as different
So
heroes.
my graphics card right now
it's not
is
like a talent swap.
blocking
So for
the
now, I don't
2
think we
extra
can
M.2 slots, but
create such
it's like a pain to like also try to get it out.
situation for players to actually
So-
switch between different
it
hero
can be
traits.
an empty
But
minute,
we're also
that's
we're lowering the leveling barrier while adding more mechanics.
Well,
that,
he's thinking of
can
putting in
possibly
that's an
interact
NVMe
with
card.
different hero traits. So I think in the future
could just throw
there will be
another
more cooperation
SSD.
between different hero traits, and it will be
That would probably be a lot
a lot
cheaper
more
than-
fun.
Does that in any way
Well, that's the
indicate
thing,
that
it's
we're
so
approaching the point
hard
where
to
you're gonna
pick
stop
up the
adding new
graphics card
heroes, or is this
that
are we
I
getting
already
more and
accidentally
more?
Oh, we're
broke
still
the,
adding new heroes for sure.
the lever thing.
It's not.
on there.
I think we're still.
And I was just like gave
I'm not
up.
telling the numbers, but
before.
we're
your-
still adding new heroes. Yeah, and new hero traits as well.
Does your board support PCIe 4.0?
Yes, it does.
I really like the
Okay.
idea of
I have
having a
2
different
more
way to level
slots
a character.
for it.
I think that's gonna encourage
I
so
don't
much
know
more
what the
people to
prices
try
are on
new
NVMEs
things.
right
Yeah,
now,
so it's
but I
trying
don't
new things,
know if
having
I'd
more new
recommend
characters is
NVMe
also healthy to the
specifically
game,
because
economy.
100%, yeah.
I mean, another idea would be like Grim Dawn does it, I think,
expensive.
with XP gear, like certain sets of
I
items.
mean,
that,
if you can afford
make,
slapping
farming
Huh,
faster.
all
we're
the
talking
cards
about
in there,
Grim
you-
Dawn now.
Interesting addition, maybe.
Yeah, we might add more.
if you can afford slapping all the cards in there, that
Those are
fit,
actually
then-
really like they're
Yeah,
rare
it'd be
drops. They're
more
like
enjoyable.
something people farm for
Well,
in
I'm thinking
endgame,
about it
so
because
it would
Black
actually also be
Friday
a pretty hype
is
drop.
coming,
Yeah.
and then things gonna be on discount. So it's like that's what I'm like thinking about.
we got more.
doing it. Or I have to
Yeah,
get like
I'm sure you guys got more
like
questions.
a SATA SSD.
you're
I
depending on your
think
board
either
again, it
Milky
should
or
have
Tuna hasn't
another
spoken in-
NVMe
or
slot
asked
on
in a
it.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It
so.
does. It has
I had a
2
question
more,
about infinite
but
scaling, of
it's
course, but you guys already
blocked off,
answered that, and I'm really happy
Oh,
to see that
those
you're
ones
adding
blocked off by
leaderboards.
the
It's gonna,
graphics card.
encourage people
Yes,
to
the
min max
graphics
and
cards.
competition and stuff like that.
Why
But
not?
the next step to
Why
that
not
would
buy
be,
SATA SSDs
know,
then?
and this is a question that's asked
do
a
that
lot,
instead.
and I know you guys
Because
are probably
you're
going
bound to
through
have more SATA
all
slots on your
kinds of
board,
hell
right?
trying to make this work out.
Surely.
Multiplayer,
If he
and
only
will we
has
be
one,
able
yeah.
to compete with our friends against
Oh,
other people?
Oh,
That,
I gotta pause that. They're gonna talk about multiplayer now. Okay. Let me cut this pause.
But like I'm thinking about either getting a SATA like SSD or getting one of these cards and putting a M.2 in there.
I probably wouldn't buy one of those boards just for
are
one.
competing with their friends and stuff
M.2.
like that, right? So
I mean, I
Maybe
could
when is
it's-
multiplayer
put
coming? Is that
multiple,
like coming
'cause-
along the line? And
yeah, I
what
mean,
are we
like-
going to be
like
getting
say
player
if
to
I
player
find
trading as well
cheap
with that? So if
SSD,
you get an item, you can trade it to
I
your
just buy
friend
the cheaper
rather
ones.
than
They're
having
like
to
1
sell it
terabyte
or
something.
stuff like that.
2.
Okay.
Like put it in
Yeah, multiplayer.
I
Oh my
don't know
God,
if there's
see
like
it in,
any-
like,
Should have been their number one
cheap
priority.
4
see it in
terabyte
Discord all the
SSD.
time. When's it coming? And see it in the comments. Yeah,
I wonder why,
actually,
dumbass.
I think it's okay to say we already have the multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
But like, considering how it works right now, I must admit I don't.
Mom
think
really
it
doesn't fucking
would
know what salt is.
fulfill our players' expectations. So we're just perfecting it, or even optimizing it, I would say. So yeah, did you say when?
Yeah, Huey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
You don't have to give a specific time.
Yes,
but
he
Good,
does have to
because
give us
we don't
specific
have
time.
a
You guys are
specific time, but we're getting close. Like, if
Okay,
you want to come work
so
for
right
us,
now-
you can come check it out.
The M.2
And for the rest of the
from,
world, yeah,
Samsung
pretty.
is
ASAP's a dangerous word. But very, very
$90
soon,
for 2
just
terabyte.
perfecting it. And your
Or
second
or I can
question
get
was about the
something like
P2P
some
trade,
like
right?
other brand,
Yes.
like
Uh,
PNY
no,
or whatever for 4
since
terabyte for
we've
$200.
got a trade house already.
Or I could get like
And it would be
SATA one
harder
for
to
like
monitor the RMT, I can say. no
and
to
$16
this at the
for
moment.
4
Who
terabyte.
gives a shit?
Once we have the multiplayer, we will have. We know what our players want our multiplayers to be.
If I get the
but
best item in
cost
the
of
entire
that
world
we
and someone's
are
gonna pay me
both on PC and
$10,000
mobile,
for
and
it,
now
fuck it,
it's
who
already
cares?
really laggy when it comes to have insane drops.
So it looks
and
like the
we have to handle those
the-
issues, so
the
that's why we
storage
didn't put it
size
up
is about
this
the
season.
same
But it's pretty close. I would say it's pretty close.
for the SSDs, regardless if
talking
it's
about-
like a M.2.
Gone up
or
to
not.
drops. Oh, okay. yeah, just going off drops, like you just mentioned, even then, it's a lot of it, right? A lot of the excitement in the very end, at the very end
keep
games
in mind
is the
that
volume of drops you get, right? Case you get a full screen.
If
Is
you're
there any
buying
thought
NVMe
about?
though, you're paying an extra $70 for the
I
card.
mean, you're gonna know it. The Mirror of Calandra kind of item.
I mean,
really
I'm just like
technical
looking
item
at it.
that's
at
super.
investment
Is there any thoughts about
because I
something
can
like that
just
to the
click
game?
multiple
We might considering
not
adding
have
those
problems.
very
Well,
precious ones, but
I don't know if there are
they're-
problems
they're-
with
those are not my like.
The
those are not like
the two possibilities
FEs
here
or
aren't
Flame
mutually
Sand. Those
exclusive is
might
the
be
thing.
those super rare
So,
legendaries.
Even if you did
But
buy
for now, we
a SATA one now to put in one of your SATA
we're
ports,
still looking at because
you're still going to
we,
be able to in the
past,
future if
those
you need to
very precious
buy the
legendaries
$70
are the
card
ones that
along with the
normal players can
NVMEs.
never have. But in the same case, it's the same case in Path of Exile. But
Yeah,
yeah,
something like consumable, something that would be.
You're saying like I could
consumables,
just
consumables,
do both,
Crafting or something.
yeah, we're adding some of those pretty close, like
That is true.
for Divinity slates. I remember we do have something that can
Yo,
reset the
where did
slates,
you
and it's also
find
kind of
the,
expensive in the last
$100
season.
SSD
We will consider adding more to that,
140
definitely.
for 4 terabytes.
Yeah, so we
It's
just
on
talked about
Amazon.
the trading house as well and the RMT and stuff. You guys introduced the taxes. How do you guys
it
feel about it?
M.2 or is
Looking
it,
at it some
SATA?
months later, do you guys have some data about how good that went? And is it something you want to keep in the game?
Is it called
Yeah, so
Team?
one standard that we
Is
add
it called
that
Team
taxes
Blue?
want to we
Is that
want
the
to
one?
make sure that
That was
the
one of them I saw,
the
yeah.
consume and the cost of
Maybe
the
get one of
FEs
these
is close to one. So like whenever
don't know,
players
maybe this thing will go
produces
down in
get
price,
one
like half
FE,
the
they have
price or
somewhere
something.
else to actually consume that.
They just get
And
this for, like,
from last season,
70.
our crafting system does not work as we want it to be. So I think tax solves one of the huge problems, because if there's no tax, then the inflation will be insane. There will be more and more FEs in the game, and I think we will keep the tax for now, because in the next season the
Is
crafting
that
will
if
be a
you
lot
want,
more better, and then we'll see if we want to like lower the taxes to keep the entire game economy a lot more
That's
healthier.
into as well.
I think the
Thing is,
new compass system.
Mhm.
I think the
go
new
ahead.
compass system's gonna help with that a lot too, because players will have a reason to spend their flame elementium, and most likely a lot of the loot they get won't be flame
Holy
elementium.
shit.
It'll be other.
COVID
valuable
was almost
items.
4 years ago.
So FE has been destroyed but
Yeah.
not regenerated, and players still feel
Damn,
like
I'm
they've
old.
generated more value than they spent.
Me too.
To be fair, we also don't really know how the new crafting system will work there, because some of the like FEs have a lot more use cases. I feel like now, like you want to upgrade to tier 0 and
it's
stuff
like
like that. So
they're-
maybe that's gonna burn a lot of FEs. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
think in
M.2
general, you
is like
guys
about the
could
same
definitely
price.
add some more stuff. Maybe like
Something like
even something like map device and
or
Path of
something.
Exile with Chaos Orbs or whatever.
Yeah, it's not
I think would
much
definitely be a
more,
good
it's
thing
got
as well.
a
Yeah.
few impasse,
Oh, one
so
thing I want to
it's
mention
better.
is the compasses, the new season. It's you can directly
When were you
bought it
getting
from
on
the
a
store
week?
using Flame Elementium. That's one way that we want to like consume those, so you don't have to worry about
Probably in a second, I'll
players
put my socks on.
keeping those compasses and then selling at a higher price. And also, I think
got
it's
some of these,
really the new crafting system. Basically,
these flaming hot
we
Cheeto
want to make
fries,
it
they were
more
cheap.
rewarding,
I like
so like
them.
players
My brother
can
loves
use more
those.
crafting, and obviously
Probably
we
better
will
than a
spend
regular
more FEs
Cheeto.
into it. So that will make
Still trying to decide,
the
though.
entire economy healthy.
Probably really artificial.
That will make it
though.
way better to post videos, because now I'm not gonna quadruple the price of Hunter compasses anymore, I guess.
Let's see if it's a
Good.
flaming hot
You can
Cheeto
share
regularly.
strategies now, I'm not worried about it.
Very
Those
happy
are
about that.
artificial, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question about the loot, actually, since
I don't care if
Noki
it's
was alluding to,
artificial,
you know,
it
big
tastes good
screen
to me.
explosion, loot
I
stuff.
just want taste.
Is there maybe
I'll give you something
in
you
the
can
near future
taste.
gonna be something where we can customize
Says
what we see on
no.
the screen?
Yes, next season.
Okay.
I'll just tell. It's gonna be next season.
Great.
Nice.
Wait,
so,
wait,
so
what's gonna be
fully
next season?
customizable loot filters, or will they?
Oh, loot filters
Okay.
next season.
Exactly.
Awesome.
It's fully
Oh,
customized.
this developer.
Will it be in-game? In-game?
In game. Yeah.
In-game. Awesome.
Just choose
Nice.
where you want to see on the ground.
They're not doing
Because there's
anything to make
more and
people
more, 'cause
happy. if you're
honestly,
not
we're
gonna add
changing,
co-op
like,
yet.
um,
Why is it taking
like we're
so
changing
long?
crafting
It's
each
a
season,
freaking
and
mess.
Advertising loot
that
filters
means
is one of like the
those,
features for your season's kind of insane to me.
weapon base,
Yeah, next
those
season
armor
will
base
be a
will
loot
be
filter.
in different value each season. So
Like,
in
imagine if
this season,
PoE
you might want
came
to see
out,
on the
like-
ground, but next season, no, we don't want to see it. And it will be a lot harder for us to make
Announcing
those
that they were
filters
like the
by
major
ourselves,
new
so we
feature
just
of
want our
this
players to design,
expansion is that they're releasing a
customize it.
support gem, like
They're
increases fire
only-
damage.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That'd be
It's
crazy.
like from
Everyone goes
season-
fire now.
The from Dark Surge to Black Sail, like it went from you only wanted to find
No, nobody's
white
still gonna go
items on the
fire.
ground to only wanted to find like blue and purple.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be
If Righteous
customized.
Fire was way cheaper, I would do that again.
I don't know if this is already going to be something that you guys will add as a function,
I
but
don't like how expensive
is there a
Righteous
possibility
Fire
of
is.
also adding a function where we can share
like
that
the
with
You
you?
say that while playing
You
the
mean
most
share
expensive build in the game.
yes.
The loot filter.
Yeah, it's like talents in World of Warcraft. There you can just output kind of
Like a string.
Yeah, but I'm
yeah,
already
like a
clearing
string,
faster
numbers
than that.
or letters, and then you can just share with
And
others.
it's way less
Whenever
divine than
others
my last
have it, they can
Righteous
just
Fire,
input those as
so-
a filter.
Now,
It's
every time you make a build, you've got to make a filter
Yeah,
for something.
like I
Granted,
said-
single target.
Oh,
Yeah, good luck,
no.
boys.
Now,
It's
Hill,
over.
I'm
It's
not
over.
gonna.
it's complete.
I'm not gonna
system,
sugarcoat
so,
this.
Yeah, it's just
That's
not.
really cool.
not an
When you
easy
played
system.
Righteous Fire,
But
you
those are
took
definitely
every step
things
you could
that we want to
possibly
make
do to go against the
outputs life
build
better.
guide.
Well, at first,
That's
yes,
great.
but then
I'm
we
really happy to hear
fixed
that.
it.
Yeah, I love that it's in game too.
Hill,
I
didn't we
never
gave
wanna
you like
alt-tab.
Yeah.
I never want to leave my
I
gun.
love,
I never want to leave the game.
like 10 diviner
I love how we all play so much.
I think you
we all
spent
play
it all
so
on
much
like a
PvE that we're
weapon.
like in game. What
Yeah,
really?
You did not follow the build at all. With
I think
Righteous
just
Fire.
this is all
Yeah,
good. We
I
just
was able
want
to get a
players
weapon and a
feedback
helmet
as soon
that
as
was
possible, as
25
much as possible
divine
to
for
see like
12
how
divine.
the season works and
Yeah, I
what do you
remember.
guys want the new season to be.
I-
And
you-
basically,
you
yeah, we just
upgraded
want
Wrong.
the experience to be better.
And
so,
you went for like.
yeah,
Oh, I
and-
missed.
And you do this a lot. You might want
I
to
missed one
pay
question.
attention.
Yeah.
Instead
I
of
gotta put
going
you on the
for
hot seat
one
again.
really big upgrade at the
The cube of
start,
rapacity
try going
avarice
for a
code.
bunch of little ones.
We could not get all the points.
You'll see a
and
lot
it
more
was
improvement.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Can we get all the points this time?
I mean,
Yeah,
this
it's
time
designed
I
to
gave
be
him
like you can
my
only
stuff,
have
so then
one huge
Yeah.
points, but
He
it's
had a
gonna be
better,
a lot
like,
more.
the
Like honestly, the
easier
number
upgrade.
there is just
Yeah, this time it
crazy.
was
I don't think
acceptable. It's like
players
off with
have
big
the chance to complete
improvements
all
by
of
the year to
those.
year.
Yeah.
I think
like with
it's
Righteous
the
I mean,
same.
I
with,
mean,
like,
even with
this
me
season,
having money,
even
I'm
though
still,
we-
you know,
I
not
think
blowing
we,
it, going, well,
deducted
what would be the
times to
best
do
3
the
upgrades versus
code
1 upgrade?
like 3 times.
I
So
get
you
it.
because it's
Right.
not like last season. It's always there's a chance to
Yeah.
beat age. So
it looks like
I think it's the same as last season. You will not
It's
get
a
them all. It's gonna be
real-
really
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry. I meant the.
We're
So
both
I
right.
expected it to not
Fine.
change with Cube. I get it. But the new passive
Hey,
tree that you
hey,
have
Yoshin.
for the
Oh,
new
yeah,
City
yeah,
of
yeah.
Eterna mechanic, you get them all.
The both
Yeah, you get
builds
them all.
good. You just have to
Okay.
accept
as
the
long as
whole
you farm
single
those.
target part.
We do offer
Uh,
something like last season.
I think
Like
they make
it's
maps.
gonna be
It's
something.
one of the reasons I don't
Let's say
wanna
a
play
level
both
1
builds.
is
Like,
all
it's so
the
fun going through the
mobs
map,
in the
then you
map.
get to the boss, it's like,
Their
oh,
health is reduced
this is
by 0.5%.
Yeah, I
and
don't.
that
Just get
level
ahead
is
of her,
like
is that easy?
1%. Level 3 is 1.5%, and you can level
Yeah,
up to
that's
like
true.
50. And then you can just
but
farm
then I
that. So
don't
it's
think
not
it's
that
like
huge,
a-
but like you can still
I
farm
don't
for
think it's
those.
a good fix. but
Nice.
When he fights like a shaper or
Honestly, I think this big
or
mechanic is
whatever,
amazing. I think
Yeah.
you guys.
Now
You might know what
first
I'm
thing
gonna say
that just,
now.
Like
It's,
I saw it and I was
Get a
like, this looks
mage
like
blood.
Binding
Yeah,
of
just get a
Isaac,
mage
it's kinda
blood.
Cool that you mentioned that game.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
Like the fact
Yeah,
that it's like a
obviously-
roguelike and replayable,
Bo-
and it's a completely new system.
I wasn't
that's
lying.
separate
Bo
to,
build
basically,
to actually do
you know, beacons and
content
whatnot,
that's
so
not just
it's
clearing a
gonna be
map.
nice to be
Bo
able
builds
to
have
like
to spend,
specialize into.
I think,
something
the
else
most money
rather
of
than just
any
being,
build
like, a one trick.
that's like easily
We spend
accessible.
a lot of time doing
Yeah.
the new mechanics. That's the main thing we have, and I think
Yeah.
we're already working on
He
next
has
season
to.
since
Wait,
we
does he have to get Omni
all
to
the
go
seasons
past 4 million?
after it's gonna be like 3 months. So it's gonna be like full time. It's
maybe.
gonna be 4 months. All the season's gonna be 3 months, and it's gonna be a lot more tight.
How many
And
maps
one
do you got
thing,
ready illegal?
it's not
We're looking
recorded,
up
right?
there.
I can just
Run
tell
a
you
few.
guys that we might have this.
I don't know because we have like no delirium
the
orbs.
preseason. So like before
yeah.
next season, we can also
That
like
is a thing.
like
And
1
no-
month. I believe it's 1 month before next season. We will create a new season that is something. We increase the drop
Other
rate,
thing.
increase adding a few more
Val orbs.
insane mechanics, so like players can experience once again. So like,
Yeah.
but also we're doing a little bit
Alright, you go buy
balances,
the
changes.
Val
So like,
orbs.
it's not gonna be just one season within a season. It's gonna be like a small season between.
It's
Yeah.
like a temp season where you just
Yeah,
like
well.
try stuff out, go crazy. Like,
Great.
let's
Yeah.
let's
You
see what we
can-
can do.
yeah.
Okay.
You guys
I-
did
I'll-
already something like that this
I'm
season,
kinda
right? Where you
into-
increased loot.
Say that again.
Sorry, you go ahead, Sean.
It's okay. After you, Tuna.
Yeah, I think you guys already did something like that this season, right? Where like there was like a multiplier on uniques, for example, like a weekend or something like that. So I'd like to see that being expanded upon, right?
I
like
want
a season where people come in, everything's crazy.
balance.
For like a week
I
or
have
two.
Yeah.
chaos.
That's a very good idea.
is that is a brand new like preseason thing. Everyone started from zero, but
I don't
now
have
this
61
time,
chaos.
drop rate, new mechanics,
Don't trade me.
some
Don't send
easier
me
but like
invite.
super exciting mechanics.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I gotta say, for me as well, you guys are doing a really great job.
Must
Like
start
in
buying
terms
Valves
of,
for
I've seen so
Divines.
many RPGs come and go over the years, and they all try to like fit in these seasons like PoE. They want to compete with PoE, but like you guys are really knocking it out of the park. And whereas PoE sometimes takes like a few weeks to ramp up the link mechanic whenever it comes out, you guys usually stick the landing right at the start. So I think in terms of link mechanics, you guys definitely have some really good stuff going on over there. Some really polished stuff. Yeah.
We try to find
You
our
know,
position in
it's something
between.
else when
So
someone
yeah,
invites me to a party.
we're designing things, thinking,
Then after
is
I
it
go
is
to
it
his
good
hideout, he
for our
tells me the
players? Is
item
it
is
to like
So far for
Or
me,
you
every
keep- you-
season start has been just dopamine. Like it's
Yeah.
the game just feels really good to play.
I mean, I
Uh,
think
and
that's
it's like a
just a good
blast.
game.
Just want to buy.
that's
Or you
what
keep making mechanics that look like this one though, then I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
well,
playing
he
forever.
went on my
'Cause I
ignore
love
list
skill
for that
trees and I
one.
love leaderboards and
is it like
See
the
the
one
infinitely
chaos
scaling
item?
stuff.
Yeah,
Or-
the scaling stuff is
all that stuff.
No,
It's just
it's
it looks amazing.
in the past, the reason, honestly, the reason we didn't make that is because it's hard to do the balancing
hard to
between
do more
each hero
if you want.
traits. But now we think of, okay, we
Oh,
just do
yeah.
rankings for each hero
Well,
traits.
not
Yeah.
so
So
expensive.
players
Yeah.
will be like,
Well,
oh,
I
JAMA
have
too.
these.
Okay, no one's
What
playing
about
that. You can only do like 50, level 50, but the
Sure.
others can do like a level
This
120.
guy's
Yeah, and also
Anime
Uh,
Guardian has a
Plays,
void forge.
well, somebody cares, but like
Yes.
few players still like you don't know how to design the game because those balancing is just too bad. But still, like those who plays JAMA 2, they know they're competing with each other. They're still min-maxing that hero trait. So yeah, that's why it's still
Armors
meaningful
and
to
all
do
that.
that, and that's why we're doing
Or you can
leaderboards
just have them
now.
for
Yeah.
free.
and like
Time to
bragging
find
rights. Bragging rights are also
Because,
one of the
like,
only things that can
I
get
don't even
people out
have
of the
any
currency
juice to
race,
roll
right?
them,
Like,
so-
for example, you can say from this point onwards, we're not going to increase the rewards, but you're going to get higher in leadership in ranking. Otherwise, you like that's a good reason to basically
Also
stop the
have
scaling and make it less
just
crazy from like top to bottom, right? So it's pretty good.
I thought you also
Make
got
it
the,
more honorable
trade in
rewards. So
Yeah.
if
No,
players
I
knows,
don't
oh,
spend
you're
money.
the best in playing Dia. But
I do.
Oh, I'm still the best playing.
Not $490, but
It's just the
We're
same.
gonna
Yeah.
find
put
some
PoE money.
immortal
I bought
builds or
$60
something, don't you
boxes
worry. We're
yesterday.
gonna break your game and find some crazy builds to do it. Don't
Yeah,
you
like-
worry.
Yeah.
Players break our game every season. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting used to that.
All right.
Oh yes, that's always going to happen. I think.
Like,
I want my
I think last
Sorry.
season, someone did, I believe, how many damage?
I think I saw 3.7 trillion on Bing. I think
Yeah,
it was.
exactly. That's a few trillion damage. Just
Holy.
we're numb to those. So it's
I like that
That's
dummy
definitely-
change you did, by the way. Because now when someone sends me a dummy DPS test, I can actually see that they have one survivability. And I can just,
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
just close it and say, shut up.
Survival up there.
Yeah.
Now we just need a dummy to hit people.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like when the designers they told me that they're adding a survival up there. I was like, okay, so now dummies fight back to you. Do they just get one shot by the dummy? They're like,
Not
no, it just
particularly.
shows that you're survival.
Can you do it so if you hit
What
it
is-
for
yeah,
too
that was
long,
fucked.
within like a certain amount of time, your character just dies? Please.
that'd be good, yeah. That'd be
Because
good.
so many
Well,
people
he's a
just
really
sit
low
there and the
block, so
dummy
that's
and ask
sad,
us of
but-
us.
or
you know,
like a
Speedball.
message like get back to
Yeah.
farming.
Yeah.
I've got a
It
What,
turns
maps
the
ready right now?
floor of the area to lava.
no 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's actually pretty floor is lava. Oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like actually, we're thinking about players. There are players that standing right next to dummy like all day. They're testing out how to break the game.
Yeah.
They're not farming anything. Like yeah, but it happens.
They've already got it.
We're
They've got
playing
the 1x6 divinity slate, and they've got all the +1s next to it. They don't need any more gear. They do.
They're fine, yeah.
They're chilling.
I mean, I think that's one of the cool things about the game. I know, like, it sounds weird, but that's like
Harbinger.
one of the cool things about the game too. Is being able to have direct feedback of, like, you know, being able to test your build
Yeah, the
rather
dummy
than.
must be good for you as well, right? That the people
Yeah.
test
We
it out really
can
quick.
see who got the most damage and see
Yeah.
if there's anything wrong with them or us.
Or Frost Touch.
Like, as much as I love path
Or
of
frost
building,
touch,
right,
yeah.
it's nice to have that feedback in game rather
Yeah,
than.
I think we're
just
considering
saying.
adding more to those customizations because for now, even for now, you guys play World of Warcraft?
I used to
There-
play
Play a ton now.
Yeah, so there's details that shows the components of your damage.
breakdown.
Like a breakdown.
Yeah, like a breakdown. So there might be a chance that you can actually have that in the future, so you know what part of damage that it comes from, or. But it's still like we're having a lot more things. There's a lot more things we want to do, we want to achieve in the future,
Alright, I'm
and really tight schedule. So I think
Alright, we just opened
now
our
most of
maps,
our
we
team
approved
are working
everything.
on next season for now. So
Makes sense.
Vox.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like people? Do
What?
you guys have like people who work on like overarching things while everybody else is like basically working on the seasons? Is that how it works?
So nothing in that
Like
shop box?
people. Yeah.
different people can
In
different.
box?
What loot cup
Yeah,
are you
I mean
on,
the,
Legal?
the season-based stuff is combining.
I'm-
things like
I think I'm on a
narrative,
cemetery
but
one.
It is everything content-based basically. But then when you guys are asking about UI, localization, multiplayer,
Yeah, I think I
and
might
even
swap
some of
both
the
of
like
them, actually. Hold
core
on.
features like trade house and this kind of stuff, then yeah, that's pretty separated.
Well, we are in the
So
middle of a
I,
breach.
I don't know if this is kind of what you're asking or
Yeah,
not,
it's
but it's
fine.
it's important to like not lose sight of the bigger picture
mean-
when we're
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is. That's the one.
I
Change
mean, I think it's easy for us as
Yeah, I
players to
saw.
lose sight of the picture because we've never seen it, right? So I think that's where you provide the context.
Yeah. You guys have your vision, right? Of where you want
Is
the
it
game
gonna
to be.
spawn
in,
a
like,
mob or
2 years
anything,
whatever.
or?
Hopefully.
I don't know why it did.
I
It's
think
actually,
yeah.
it would. I don't know if this is something we could ever do, but well, if you guys ever come to
Remember
Shanghai,
how-
China, which is obviously where all of our team is based, it's really nice getting to walk around the
The skill's
offices
very
because
blue.
like we've got all of these concept drawings and storyboards and all of
You
this
can
stuff
open
going on.
those.
It's really incredible, like to kind of see the project and each new part of it coming to life.
It's just very noisy. Like everyone's arguing there. They're thinking their ideas is the
Dude, it
best.
sounds
So-
so intriguing just to see it all be like how it just the
Open
logistics
box.
of it from so many people and then it comes together. I'd
Yeah,
love
so
to see.
we'll come together. We're talking about games and designs. It's just
Box again.
Yeah. it's
And then
great.
out of it comes a really good game. And it's like, oh,
I hate it.
yes.
one thing.
Since
One
you mentioned
Oh, yeah, and
WoW,
remember
you
how
know, do you think you'd ever have like
50
macros
unique
into the
rings can
game,
give you that chest
like
back.
WoW does?
Yeah, I've been
actually,
picking up
we're
rings.
thinking about because in the next season, it's not like
And I need to
macros, but we're
sell
adding
15
something like
of them?
a new passive skill,
Six.
support skill is where it automatically triggers the skills that you already put.
Altar.
So we do not want macros, but we want like players, no matter if they're playing on PC or mobile, can simply use one button to like.
That's
pair.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I like that idea more because one problem with macros or add-ons in WoW is it then trivializes certain aspects of the game,
Yeah.
which causes
It's
developers to design around the macro's existence, which
There's
punishes
definitely
anyone
a
who
part
doesn't
of me
use
that-
it.
Ah, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be some amount of friction in the game.
Is
So
that like
it's
what?
like, yeah.
Yeah.
That does
Yeah.
not
I like
this
using
when it
supports that
just
do the
sits
same
there.
thing because then you're giving something up.
Yeah, you're
And
giving
you're
up
getting some-
things. You're giving up skill cost because you cannot equip something more, but now it triggers the skill automatically for you. So yeah, that's one thing you have to give up for. That's how we designed that. Actually, it's in the game for next season.
I did want to talk
Yeah,
about a couple
so-
of things. Oh,
Mhm.
go ahead, Milky.
Okay, go.
All right. So a couple things from the questions that I just had one idea in terms of the pets separate servers, and when you were mentioning the
My latency
restart of
is
second week, have you
1400
thought of
right
a
now.
separate
My goodness.
competitive server for one of those as a test?
Yes, that's actually the case that I've been, preparing for telling the dev team that we want to have that. It's more like competitive server. It's like everyone has the same
Strong
thing. We're selecting a certain hero trait. Like for example, we're using Thea, we're using Yoga this time, and then everyone competes to see who got like the fastest time. Actually, I think the competitive server is one thing that we will definitely have in the future, and
I
I'm
like
actually the
Harbingers.
one writing the
I
proposal
like
for that.
fracturing shards.
Yeah, it's really cool. I
That's
think the
very
one
cool.
thing that actually diminishes.
I stood right on you and I
Sorry to
died.
bring it back to this, but when like on season
Uh,
start, when
yeah.
everyone's pushing for level
Strongbox
100
effects
and you
don't
just,
mess
when you hit
around.
96,
Yeah.
you either have the
because you're
reduction
not
in
energy
effective
shield,
negative,
it's not
or you
like
just
certain
don't take
strong
any
box effects, I don't
penalty
do
on
much for
death.
you, so make
Yes.
sure
And I
to
think
stay
once you get to
away
96, just
from
I stop.
boxes.
That's just
Yeah,
where I
that's when a
call
lot
it
of
day.
people stop at level 90.
Yeah, so it's I think
The
trying to
competitive-
eliminate
here
that
comes
in some
Spirit.
way would be amazing.
yeah,
But at the
competitive-
same time,
Mhm.
just as a side thing, asking someone to choose between starting on a fresh economy and trade,
Wow.
which is the most exciting time to play, and playing
Sounded
on
like,
a
Divine,
server
what was it?
is a big thing to ask.
It's like 50 chaos.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
cool.
yeah.
Oh,
That's why I
another
was
one drop. There we go.
thinking
Sorry,
And another one.
Yeah, so I guess the
we
hard
got-
question
that
for
was
the
the actual
races
gem that
is do you
drops.
want to do them in the first week when everybody
And life
has like
support.
the attention
Oh,
on
wait,
their
did you
play?
get the card now,
No,
or did it
it's
leave?
gonna be weeks after.
The 7
Yeah,
years
and then the
card.
problem
I
is
got the
weeks
7 years red
after,
block.
very often the attention is already away, so maybe you're gonna get less
Yeah,
players.
that's another
So
issue.
the so
I
you
thought
have
I
to
had
kind of
none.
find like a middle way, and you also have to
I didn't
find a
know
way to
which
get
one
the
you
attention
got it.
back, because then it's actually a good thing, right? Because maybe you get them back, and afterwards they play a little bit more again, right? So I guess you guys have like ideas like events and stuff. I don't know if events work. It's like it's really hard to get people's attentions back once they're on to the next game, right? That's like really rough.
You know what? This is kind of the funny thing with all of the. Oh, am I frozen? I could see. I don't know. They get.
I just real quickly, yeah. You're good. You're good.
Oh, there is? Let's go to it.
So you know, it's the same with games that have been doing this for a lot. Our IP is super long running, but this Torchlight
Oh, we got the boss.
there are games that have been doing it a lot longer than us, and you can see every season, new season, there's like a huge
Another
spike
thing
in
that
rates
might
and
kill
it
you,
drops off.
though, that I can't
And
really
then there's
help
a huge
out
spike,
too
and
much
maybe it's a
with
bit more
is
than the last
corrupting
season
blood.
that it drops off.
Mm,
So like, honestly,
have it on
I
my
would actually
potion,
say
so I
in
can
some
just
ways we're
pop
not
it.
even worried about that. Of course,
because they'll
like
do
we
a
want to
lot of
produce
damage
new
fast
content that
if
can
you're not careful.
keep the players coming back halfway through the season and stuff. And that's actually something the conversation kind of got shifted, but I was gonna ask because I was interested to hear how you guys
Those
plan your
projectiles.
seasons,
That was a
especially
slow map.
around the different like games in this genre. And I was kind of interested,
Yeah.
like, are we in the
Portal?
calendar now, or how are you gonna play it? But yeah, for the events, for now, the logic is not to do it at all.
There's a mortal shard here.
Yeah.
I think that's the play. It's just finding that how long after to make it still.
Oh, I didn't know that was a guy.
Yeah.
You're not interrupting.
So for me-
people, basically.
Give me a life
So for me, it
regen.
very much depends on when you
come on,
guys.
just
So for your question, if you're in my calendar, you are in my calendar, right? It's like the only thing is how long you're in my calendar usually depends on how far away from PoE you are. For example, right now I'm still really hooked in PoE, and then next week I'll play it, sure, right? But if it was like later, I would probably play like 2-3 weeks, and this time I might just maybe play 1 week because I also want to get back to PoE and it's still fresh. And all my communities playing and stuff like that, so that's how I.
We have
kinda
another
determine
enhance,
that.
do we?
But in general, yeah, I'm looking forward to it every time, yeah.
We do it to
Yeah,
make
that's
gold
also one
dash.
thing we want to
We're all
position
level
ourselves is want to make the
I guess I'll
season
take one
and
and
the
level them up
seasons in
too.
between a lot more frequent. So like whenever you want to come to play, there's there's a new season coming in, and whenever you do not want to, just leave it
Yeah.
there and then come back anytime. So
So
that-
make the seasons more bite-sized, a little bit smaller.
That was not a
or
map.
maybe
Thanks,
yeah,
game.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
that's
I
the
knew I
position
was
we're having right now.
stupid.
But considering we're adding more and more season gameplay into that, the dev team is always complaining if we're making the season shorter and shorter, we do not have time for the new season gameplay. And I was like, okay, let's. No, we have
3
to.
months, 3 months
Just-
feels like a sweet
Just
spot,
turn
but-
everything up to max, and there you go. You don't need a new season gameplay. You're good. I mean,
I
PoE have
guess-
done that tons of times, right? With their like special races and stuff. You can make the game's already got enough to make crazy. Obviously not for an actual full season, but for a smaller one, as you said, it would be. There's plenty.
I mean, one thing you could try is maybe have like the big boss that you plan for the league release after
This
week
one's
1
kind of a
or like
chunkier.
after week 2. I don't know if that's actually gonna hinder you guys or if that's actually gonna be a bad thing. But to
gotta
your
get
thing,
some
I
chaos
definitely
out for the
agree, right?
Harbinger
Like
draft.
it's almost impossible to get people back, right? Like
But I
this
mean,
this
all of
curve
our
is always
chaos.
gonna happen, but I think it's still worth trying, right? Because there's that's like the part to min max that even PoE hasn't really figured out. That's like the part. The question is it a thing that you can figure out, or is it just like a lost cause, right? Is it fine to even put resources there? But I think it's definitely worth trying, right? No.
Actually, we're thinking about putting it's like different leagues, like solo self-founds and things
Dude,
like
this
that.
is the worst
It's
choice
another
ever
way
made.
to solve
But
the issue where players are all starting
that
on
bad
day
boy in
one,
there.
and then all of a sudden, like let's say if we have
Get
a
the corrupting
hardcore
fever.
player, they die, they have to restart it together. Then
and by golly, we are gaming.
those are really those are things we're taking.
Off we
We're
go.
thinking all the time. We're debating whether we're adding those different versions, different leagues. Yeah, it's
You
a lot
guys
of
are doing
stuff.
so much.
No.
so much.
And in In terms of is Torchlight Infinite in my schedule, absolutely yes. How long I play, it depends on how much I'm enjoying the league. Also, because I'm a content creator, you know, how much are people watching the content? That's a factor. And when it is, has a big,
He's buying
big
so many
influence
rares.
on
How
that.
nice of them.
This time, like with Palace Run, it's probably going to be shorter because there's
Explodes.
still a lot of interest for Path of Exile. But I'll see. Maybe it'll pop off. Everyone will be interested, and I'll just keep playing it. Also, there's
Barely didn't
Starfield.
like
There's
that
so many
one.
games that I want to play right now that
Last
this
Epoch,
week-
right, has the Rune Master out, I think, yeah.
Yeah. But that said, there have been times like during Black Sale, I was playing a ton of Torchlight. I was loving the game.
I'm
And
stuck.
there wasn't much else
Okay,
going
I'm
on. I'm sure there's going to be some seasons very
Gotta
busy
stay
like
here.
this one. Other seasons, not much going on where I'll play longer.
We're worried about that as well because we just have too much game to play.
Do you guys play RPGs? Like, are you guys grinders? Do you play QE and stuff like that?
I would
Do
say
you just do it for research or?
no, like 95% of our team like are hardcore, hardcore defense for those for the
Yeah,
air.
so they take inspiration from PoE.
Yeah, those are like so we actually when we hire people, there's like a visible line.
Let's go
within
into
the company,
Salmon.
but they have to play one of those RPGs for like
After this
5,000
unbox.
hours or 3,000 hours at least
What
getting into the game. 'Cause you have
the
to know the game.
Sending you my
Yeah,
resume,
you
bro.
have to-
I got 15,000. You move
You have to
first.
know the game. But honestly, sometimes we'll find someone that is not that one of the gamers because those who plays this game might have the fixed mindset about how the game should be like. But sometimes we want some new ideas coming from others. So it's always still that's why I say it's 95%. So we still have those players who didn't try out the ARPG genre before, but they have a lot of ideas
And they have other perspectives as well, yeah.
yeah. Honestly, the trade cards is actually from someone who plays the roguelikes a lot.
This is
And
my favorite part of the game,
yeah,
man.
that's also,
Can
also
tell that guy thank you.
That's
I love
actually-
that. I can play the Torchlight endgame for forever.
yeah the trade
Like,
cards.
just give me
yeah.
any character.
This one next.
Wait, you start with D2 or?
No, I started with D3.
Fuck.
D2 is
D3.
is before my age, honestly. It's,
Okay, yeah, same. Exactly same for me, yeah. Also started with D3, yeah.
Yeah. I also started with D3 and then I couldn't play D3 because of the server issues. And
Oh.
so I ended up playing Path of Exile, then going back to D3 because it worked. And that started me playing ARPGs.
Let's see if we can
played
find
a
Hill.
lot of these
Oh,
kind of
fuck
games.
me.
There's one that I remember
Fuck me,
when I
fuck
played
me.
Dota. There's those.
Oh my gosh,
Steamworks-
this
what is it?
latency.
It's workshops. They like the player made a lot of maps, and there's a lot of ARPGs in there, and I play a lot of
Yeah, not
those.
why you're getting
So
so much.
those are
Yeah,
the server's
I don't know why I'm getting
closer to
Oh,
you
I
than
just love
1400.
ARPG.
And it says it's not
Close.
server, it's
One more
my
thing.
C drive.
To go back to multiplayer and trade and all that, I know there's some concerns
I don't know what's
in
causing
terms
it.
of monitoring RMT, but I think it's going to be really important when multiplayer comes to have player-to-player trading. Because someone's going to
This
want to
game's
play with their
causing it.
friends, and then your friend gets a cool item that's perfect for their build, and they want a way to be able to give that or take that item from their friend without having to put it up on the auction house, risk someone else buying it, and all of those problems.
Don't walk over the other
Yeah,
abyss.
that's really important. Now we'll take that into account. For now, the logic
Open that
is kind of
strongbox.
same as Path of Exile is all on the ground,
Fire
and then
Storm
some of those belongs to you,
Put
some
the
of them
abyss.
belongs to your friends.
Well, this is
So
just
you
gonna
can
be
just drop it?
Yeah, just drop it.
He'll just walk the
Well,
other
no,
one.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
saw
you
it.
can drop it.
Oh, yeah, that's why I was asking, because right now you can't drop items, so
Yeah, we will loop around.
in
Don't
Path
go
of
that way.
Exile, you could just drop an
Go this
item
way.
on the ground.
Yeah.
and give it to
It's not the same, but like those are like
He'll just walk
once
on the other
you
one.
have that on the ground, some of them are yours, some of them your friend.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't pick up for a period of time,
Nice open two
your
of them.
friends can pick
Okay,
it up.
cool.
But if
I
you
mean,
want
people are just
some-
gonna bypass the auction
Did that one
house,
move or
right?
zone
If you didn't
close?
do that, just add instead of trading, you just add someone as a friend.
if we want to do like friends players to players trade, we might have to like add some restriction to it. So like,
You know, like you've been friends for a certain amount of time or something. Or...
yeah, you have to be in the group for a certain amount of time.
Have you guys seen
I think-
how it's done in Last Epoch, right? Where it's like, if you're in a party with that person, when the item was dropped, you can trade it within like
Yeah.
2 days,
Yeah.
right? Or something like that.
In World of Warcraft.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Go towards it.
I think,
Once
yeah.
we,
yeah.
Get that strong
once we
box.
got the multiplayer online, we can see
Okay.
how it goes, right? Yeah.
Go to the abyss. We'll go that way.
Where is it? Oh, I see.
Which will be soon.
I look forward to it. That sounds
Hopefully.
No, it's cool.
like
It's
spawn
cool.
and
It's
stuff.
Let's not
I
say
need to.
soon.
Yeah, Milky has to be my aura bitch. So
no.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter how soon, as long as it comes out polished. It's just
Yeah, that's
knowing
the
that
thing,
it,
right?
that
Yeah.
is
And
the important thing, right?
I also think it's very, very important to make something that feels good when it comes to multiplayer, even over having it soon. And I do think trade is
Right.
part of that. So
That's
I'd be
that's
very,
the
More
reason
about
why we
the,
we didn't put it up.
Yeah.
It's already done, but like it's,
We
it's
love
not
7 years
what we
Babylon.
want it to be. There's still like including like the grouping experience is probably not as good as you doing solo, something like that. But the experience is not as good as what we want it to be. So that's why we
you want a good first impression.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
it's-
want to do that.
It's cool you guys did that because it'd be easy if everyone want. So
I
many
guess I
people
will.
want it. It'd be easy.
I don't
to say
have
you've got it
for
right.
it.
It'd be easy to just say, here you go, and all these players are happy. But it's cool that you're saying, hang on, it's not quite there yet. Give us a
Yeah.
minute. Yeah, I think
That's
it's-
actually kinda
I think it's
interesting.
Cool
Do
that
you-
you're doing that.
Do you guys often have like the thing where people ask for stuff
I
and you
kinda
just
forgot
know you
why I'm
can't
getting
say
this
it, but you would
license
just
anyways,
love
so-
to share it with them, and you're just like, oh, god damn it, we
Yeah.
already have something prepared, but I can't share it yet. I mean, that must be frustrating, right?
It is.
I would say
It's
pretty
like
often.
Colin
From
telling me.
publishing side.
Yeah, the C
Yeah,
drive is
yeah.
just skyrocketing in ridiculousness during this game. Why?
For all of the support on the Maxwell side and all of
Probably
your
just because a lot
content.
is happening.
And
Is
we're
your
really
C
looking
drive
forward to
actually, like,
seeing
a
you in the
good
new
drive?
season.
Yeah.
It's gonna be epic.
It's the Black SN
Yeah, thank you for having us.
850X,
Likewise,
Thank you for
thank
having
you so
me.
much.
2 terabyte.
Thank you. It's gonna be
And,
fun. I've been playing that.
When
for a
I
while.
got it, it was like the second fastest one you can buy. Second or third fastest one you can buy. Fucking damn it.
Divine Orb.
Nice.
All
I'm
right.
assuming you're
Hello,
fine on your own
everybody.
looting.
I should be able to do the boss, yeah. Not very quickly, mind you. In fact, I think I'm gonna lose my head on a bus before I kill this boss. I'm dead.
Tis long ago that tale was told. So long ago I can't even remember our earliest days.
I didn't mean to pick up
Death once separated
Ray
us,
Spectre helmet.
and thus we remained till the candle of soul called. Deathless, imperious, murderous. Ever till death.
Off we go. Garrett.
Hello. Goodbye. Oh, I earned the beast helmet.
You got what?
I got the challenge helmet.
Oh.
I don't know which one I completed, but hey. Beast. Replaces the default enemy health bar with one fit for a hunter. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You need to get Portal Scroll.
Don't remind me to do it less.
I'm not opening a portal next map.
We got a 7 years bad luck and a divine orb. I guess we can sit our next map forever then.
Okay.
Here we go. Hello,
Okay,
everyone.
so above.
New season, of course. The Lone King
altar
of
down
Eterna.
here.
However, they can also have serious negative impacts on you. Therefore,
Yeah, it's a
you
cool little
must balance
cosmetic.
the power and the negative.
Oh, altar.
The city of Eterna has spread to Leptis. In the new season, hunters will encounter and interact
You gotta
with the
get the
monument
unique
of Eterna.
duplication, because what if you
Then
get
be
a
guided to the
headhunter
edge of
or mage
Eterna,
blood?
the ruins of Eterna. In the ruins, hunters must complete challenges in allotted time, kindle candelabra for prizes, and obtain a mark of ruins.
Put up
A
with these
vital
strong
component
boxes.
for hunters to rebuild the city of Eterna that has the condition of all candelabra. Various reward spots are scattered throughout the map. Hunters must stamp them with the marks of runes to create a passage before taking the prizes. They must make sure the marks of runes are connected and cover as many reward spots as possible for more prizes. When the map is completely covered in marks, hunters will be able to enter the city of Eterna they have rebuilt.
I think that another one closed. We're good.
Mega skills in active skill slots and create a breeze that gives Spirit Maggot the nourishment buff to make them summon. Beyond that, Iris Nourishment can push Spirit Maggot into the hyper state of Full Bloom. Spirit Maggot in Full Bloom will unlock an ultimate that can deal devastating strikes to enemies. Lead a squad of Spirit Maggot in toppling powerful
To spirits now. Archery Bond is an all-new Empower Sentry placed to provide buffs to nearby allies by reducing projectile quantity but increasing additional projectile damage, attack, and cast speed. With the Bond of Archery's aid,
On me.
as well as increase the hunter's spell damage, is a mysterious necklace from the city of Eterna. When equipped, the hunter will gain a buff called Solemnity as they channel in place, which increases the skill rate. The new season will introduce 3 new legendary pack spirits: Scale of Original Sin, Abyssal King Soul, and Monument Knight. Scale of Original Sin's ability is to enhance the combat capabilities related to Spirit Magus. Abyssal King Soul is to enhance damage over time and reaping efficiency. And Monument Knight is to enhance the hunter's loot efficiency in the City of Eterna, season-exclusive gameplay. Purchasing the Ultimate Season Pass will unlock the new hero, the Forsaken Iris, as well as Portal, back accessory, footprint, and one-handed axe outfit appearances. Katai has 2 swimsuits, while Moto and Iris not only get their own advanced outfit, but also provide new outfits for their beloved minions and Spirit Magus.
That's all for today's season preview livestream.
In fact, there are still many other contents that we haven't introduced to you yet, but this will be discovered in the season patch notes, including balance and battle adjustment that
Wonder if my brothers are downloading anything. My latency shouldn't be this bad. I'm even noticing it and just trying to pull up videos or YouTube. It's all just lag.
Is it going out maybe?
The internet? I don't know.
No, your SSD.
No, it can't.
Restart.
It's only a few months old.
Did you try restarting your computer?
No, I haven't yet. I
That
have not
might help.
yet. Might have to.
Alter to the right.
Panic attack. Yeah, well, you should have fucking had 1,000 dicks in you. All right, let me restart my computer, I guess.